there's a law in this universe that states that whatever is being observed will change its behavior. So I'm wondering if in your own life, where are you modifying your behavior or yourself to accommodate an ideal of who you believe yourself to be, a memory of the past of who you used to be that you'd like to go back to, or an ideal of yourself that exists only in the future that is not who you are at the moment? And how can you come back to your heart in this moment and align to who you really are? Now, I realize that this is probably a very challenging question because most of us have pressure from external circumstances and situations that we feel are kind of pushing and pressing on us and molding us into who society might want us to be, who life may want us to be. And as human beings, we're very social creatures. So we want to fit in, and we want to be liked, and we want to be appreciated and valued. The tricky part about this is that as within, so without. If you are not in a position right now of being able to love and value and cherish yourself for who you are at this point in time, as you are, no matter what you feel your flaws are, life is going to reflect back to you this very thing. It's going to say to you, hey, you're overweight, you're not worth loving. You're not pretty enough, no one's going to want to be with you. You're not smart enough, you're not ever going to have that job that you want. You know, whatever it is for you, our thoughts and feelings create a current of energy within us. And you can see this as a vibrational pattern that emanates from within you outward into the universe, and it acts as a magnet, and it's going to draw to you exactly what you're feeling inside. This is why it's so important and truly so vital to know who you are at that core intrinsic level. And sometimes this can be really difficult. You know, some of us have very strong family ties and bonds, and this tribe that we're a part of has expectations about who we should be, who we will be. You know, I have met parents who are like, well, my kid's going to be this, my kid's going to be that. I still have parents asking me about this because my daughter is a very free spirit. She attends school, you know, maybe 2 or 3 days a week at the most. And a lot of people say to me, hey, Shawna, aren't you worried? You know, she should be studying, she should be doing this, she should be doing that. And my philosophy is that if that's what she should be doing, then that's what she would be doing. And, you know, while I'm always here for guidance, if she asks me, I want her to be able to trust her own heart. And I listen to her, and what she tells me is that, you know, the school system is so far behind, it can't keep up with these kids these days, and she's bored. So I encourage her to listen to her own heart, just as I do for myself. And I go, what do I need outside of what society is telling me is good and right for me? And these are really poignant, important questions for all of us to ask ourselves. And a good way to know if you're hearing something and it feels right for you, or if you're hearing something and you go, I'm not sure, listen to your body. When something feels right to you, you feel open and expansive and alive. And when something doesn't, you kind of just draw inward. It's like your whole being is going, hey, Just pause for a moment, take a minute to breathe, and just really feel into this. So in your own life, take a few moments at the end of every day and ask yourself, where did I have that feeling of expansion? This tells you that yes, take a step forward here. I want more of that. Where do I have these feelings of contraction? This may be, hey, take a pause, rethink, reorganize, reshuffle. Maybe there's another way to do something. Maybe there's another path for you. I always joke with my Monday morning QIGONG class that I feel so blessed that most people get up on Monday and they're like, oh no, it's the start of a week. And I'm like, woohoo! You know, I get to hang out with some of my favorite people and do some movement and realign in that moment. And my life really did not look like this all the time. I spent many years in the corporate world, hating every minute of it. The final straw was when I had a job as a client services manager in a financial planning firm, and I know nothing about financial planning. I know nothing about that industry. I didn't want to know anything about that industry and lasted 3 months in the job. But you know, I took that job because my husband at the time, we had bought a new house, and you know, the money was okay, and it was like, all right, I'll contribute to our household this way. I'll get this job, and then I'll feel like I'm doing the right thing. I'll do what's expected of me. And I became severely depressed. I was sick often, and I just hated my life. And this is not to say that creating the life that you want is not going to come without its own trials and tribulations. I have never received more resistance from the people around me than I have since becoming a Qigong instructor, and doing what I know in my heart is right for me. There's most people in my life think I'm a little bit delusional. They might think I'm a little bit crazy, and they don't understand that it's okay to live this way because it's not okay for them to live that way. And what I find so interesting is that I'm okay with whatever they're doing. And this is also often the case. But if you're not of that mindset, it can be very challenging to see someone who, when most people are going here, who goes, no, I'm going to go over there. And for many people, this is the scary zone. And for some of us, this is what feels safe. I don't feel safe following the crowd. I don't feel comfortable. I don't have any desire to go out and party anymore. I don't have any desire to be following trends and listening to, you know, the voice of society as a rule, and to do that with my life. It doesn't interest me. I'm very happy living a very different kind of a life, and I've become okay with that. And slowly what I've noticed happening is that because I've stayed on this path and I'm going okay, the people around me who are the most resistant are kind of like, okay, maybe it is okay. Maybe she is going to be all right. Whatever you choose, just know that you are fully responsible for the life that you're living. You're never a victim. You always have power. And the more that you can come back to who you really are outside of all of this external noise, the easier it will be to take that responsibility and find a sure footing for yourself. If you're always trying to do what everyone else wants you to do, it's like trying to walk on water. It's just not possible. The ground is continually moving under your feet. To be responsible means that you create that solid foundation for yourself in whatever way works for you. And that might be very different from the people that you love. And that may mean, and it often does mean, that you're going to lose some people that you care about. And that is very difficult. I'm not going to lie about that. There will be people who you thought loved you to the ends of the earth who no longer speak with you. However, the inner peace and the groundedness and connectedness to yourself that you will receive by honoring who you really are, I assure you, will help you to move forward in life and attract other people who are now more aligned with your frequency. Because every time we change on the inside and we align more with who we really are, our whole vibration changes. And remember that that vibration is what emanates out from you and attracts like frequency to you. This is why when we change on the inside, life changes on the outside. And with all change, there's always that adjustment period. There's always that little settling in before you feel comfortable. Think about when you move to a new house or a new place. It feels really strange because all of the things that were familiar to you and that energy within that space have all been shuffled and changed. But once you get everything back into place, you know, the furniture that you're keeping and the new furniture that you buy, and you settle in after a month or so and your energy is able to filter out into that space, one day you just come home and you go, yeah, this is home now. I feel really good here. I'm happy to be in this space. So if you can just move through that challenging period with trust and know that it will end, you will find that sure footing. And that sure footing is one step into creating that beautiful, solid foundation for yourself. Thank you always for taking time to stop by here with me and share our beautiful scenery. I hope wherever you are, you're having a wonderful day. And if there's any subject you'd like me to touch on, please let me know. I send you all so much love from our beautiful part of the world here to wherever you are. Have a wonderful day. I look forward to sharing Chi with you next time.